That's right, you geeks. Welcome into the Echo Screen, the official podcast of the Clan of the Grey Wolf. As always, I am your host, the Commodore.
Oh, ding ding. Sorry. My bad.
And you have really bad timing on that. You
Yes.
really need to work on your timing on the ding ding. Anyway, and with me, as always, well, actually not with me in the room, but with me hundreds of miles away, virtually with me, is the ever vigilant and watching Rue. Rue, how are you doing? I'm going to I take that Mr. Rogers cadence on the penny whistle to mean that you're doing great.
That's obviously a Yamaha recorder. Thank you very much.
Oh, okay. I apologize. I thought maybe you had started playing skin flute.
That's later.
Oh, okay. Got it. Perfect. So, Rue, I have a question for you. Did you hear that we've got new leadership? I don't know if you heard this.
No, I think Obama definitely won the election.
No. We definitely have new people in charge. I heard this.
Okay. I think you're incorrect, but
No. So you didn't hear that Disney bought Lucasfilm?
Oh, right. No, I did hear about that. A little something about that.
Good. Okay, yeah. So it's been all over.
A few people were talking about it. The indie company buying the other indie company.
Exactly. Largely small organizations that no one's really ever heard of, but still prominent. And something we will talk a lot about tonight, folks. Yes. So tonight is going to be an absolute bash, maybe figuratively and literally.
Bashing.
Are you snapping and clicking and running around?
No, I'm bashing things.
Okay.
I bashed my cup. Look at that.
Well, just don't bash the Yamaha recorder. Anyway, so we are going to treat that very topic tonight, folks. We're going to talk all about it. Some of you asked why I didn't talk about George Lucas and Lucasfilm and the Weekly Ringer. The reason was because we are good planners.
We're very smart. No,
that has nothing to do with it at all. The point is, we did know this was coming, though, so we planned it out a little bit in terms of don't bash people. So we did kind of plan it out so we could talk about this here, get the battle royale finished. You're in for a good one today on the Echo Screen Live, folks. It's going to be a good one. We're going to talk about Disney taking over Lucasfilm, but we're going to follow the same format as we always do. Rue, you know it well. First, we're going to start off with a little news and notes.
I like to call them tids and bits.
Tids and bits.
If you know what I mean.
Would that be T and B rather than T and A?
You could call it that.
Well, I'm going to call it T and B from now on.
Okay.
That's what I'm going to call it. All right, so we're going to do a little T and B. And then
that's pretty bad.
People that just joined the podcast are revolted. So we're going to do a little T and B.
Steel 7 quit. He's like, screw this.
Yeah, screw this. I'm out of here. So we're going to do a little T and B. Then we're going to move on to the topic du jour. Mm-hmm. It's the soup of the day.
So meaty.
Yeah, I'll have that. So we're going to talk about the Lucasfilm acquisition by Disney at great length. And then lastly, we will have what is, I hear, people's favorite part of the show, which is the Q&A session, meaning that you guys can...
Yes.
Lastly, we will have... What happened?
Nothing.
Why are you mumbling things behind? You're not supposed to do that.
Oh, no. Someone's throwing stuff.
So anyway, we're going to get to the last part of the show, which is people's favorite part of the show, which is the question and answer session that we do here, which is you guys can ask us anything you want. Maybe you want to ask us something about the topic at hand.
Yeah, you know what? I think we should mix things up. I think we should have a question right now from
one question.
And I'm looking at it. Hold on, where'd it go?
You fail at IRC.
It went by too quick. It went by way too quick. Someone asked.
Are very bad.
Someone
at
asked, "Is Commodore on Twitter?"
That's the first question. That's the best you can do.
Yeah, I think it's a good question. Why aren't you on the Twitter?
I am on the Twitter. I'm at the Twitter with Clan of the Grey Wolf.
You've used that like twice. I've gone ahead and co-opted that. I think you should have your own Twitter. People want to hear what you have to say.
I have a bone to pick with that. I don't think that's true. I don't think anyone. If people want to hear what I have to say, they can probably watch the Weekly Ringer videos.
No one watches them.
Yeah, I know it's true. It's a failing audience. Nobody's watching it. No one's commenting. It's like the only people that are commenting are actually just relatives of mine who take pity on the fact that I post those videos. It's actually really embarrassing.
Yes.
Anyway, that's a good point. I should get on Twitter. I just don't know what kind of. Here's a challenge for you all. Find a Twitter moniker for yours truly.
Beef stick.
Okay, no, it has to be Commodore related.
Skin flute.
No, that's not going to happen either.
Vanderbilt.
Vanderbilt's a good one. I like that.
He was the Commodore.
Okay, yeah, I know. The Commodore Vanderbilt.
I've been watching Men Who Built America. Sorry.
I have been too. It's freaking fantastic.
It's pretty good.
Commodore 128 has to be taken Vulcan Assassin. There's no way I could get that. If any of you can verify that it is not in fact taken, then I will take it right now, and you have my word on that. All right. Anyway, so we're going to eliminate that. Anyway, the point is that we're going to do the. Thanks for totally screwing up the order, dude.
Anytime.
Anyway, we're going to go. The third section is going to be the question and answer session, which means all you have to do is ask us questions about the topic at hand, general geekery, or life topics,
and the pursuit of happiness.
All you have to do to ask a question is just click onto my name. You can see that in the right hand of the chat there. And send me a private message. You'll see it otherwise known as a PM.
Oh, wow. This is technical speak you're using here.
Look, I don't like to take out the techno-babble very often, but when I do, I feel like the most interesting man in the world. I don't always bring up the techno-babble, but when I do, I'm on IRC. Do you think that would work?
No.
I think it was a pretty good meme. Anyway, all right. So,
well, I know you want to talk about first.
Send a message when you click my username, which is that Commodore 28 with an exclamation point next to it. Don't accept any substitutes. So, feel free, by the way, to ask questions all throughout the podcast. That's the way we run this thing here. You don't have to wait to the question and answer session to ask questions.
So, go ahead with the thing you want to talk about that I don't give a crap about. You want to say it.
The 3DS?
No. The news bit that you're all excited about.
Oh, the Wii U.
No, that's actually interesting.
Oh, I thought you... Oh, okay. You give a crap about those?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, so in terms of... Hey, Ron Paul Patriot, keep your questions for the question and answer session and send them as PMs.
Wow, putting Ron Paul in his place.
Put him in the place. That is a great one. Commodore Kame 1 is actually the best thing I've ever heard in my life. I should totally find out if that is taken. Anyway, moving right along. You've totally hijacked the topic du jour here. You realize
it's the people in the chat. They're doing
you did this. You enabled them. You're like the enabler. You give people money and then you ask why they do drugs. Anyway, so I don't know where that came from. I'm sorry. Anyway, so I wanted to talk about the launch of a very important game. Halo 4.
Yep. Talk about it.
I am going to talk about it. You want to know why? Because I am reading reviews of this game, and I'm hearing that this game is the exact thing that I'm looking for. It is the best.
Here's where I take a break.
Oh, okay. Go ahead. Yeah, go get a sandwich. So, Halo 4 is going to be the best single-player campaign for Halo yet. And those of you that know the Weekly Ringer, have watched it quite a while, understand that I don't play Halo for the multiplayer. I hate multiplayer. I generally stay away from multiplayer on Xbox Live in general. You know what I play it for? The single-player experience, that's why. Is there a cat coming on screen now?
No.
This is devolving into the worst kind of internet crap I think I could possibly imagine.
We'll see what people want to talk about. Halo 4 or the kitty.
Oh, no, that's not fair. That's not fair.
Okay, you make your argument. Go ahead.
All right, my argument is that Halo 4 will be one of the largest video game releases of the year.
Rebuttal.
It is one of the best single-player... Okay, well, game over. I lose.
Yep, sorry.
All right, so that was one piece of news. What else we got for news? We have... oh, God. It's kind of been a weird news week. Oh, the other thing I was going to mention, it came out this week that actually Android had a 75% market share among smartphone activations in Q2. Yes, Q2. Q3. Sorry, my own company's fiscal year does not line up with the calendar year, so I apologize. In any case, um, whatever. The point is,
Lots of
Android is,
androids.
yeah, it's kind of taking over the world, right?
Yes.
And do you have a problem with this?
No, I like Android. We need I've just Apple. Just God.
That sounded like you were about to say something really bad. I've if any of you use Argo, like it's the perfect, like Argo, fuck yourself. It's the perfect. It's the perfect.
Apple is so overvalued as a company. It's not even funny.
Oh
yes,
okay.
They're a gadget company.
All right, hold on.
They make gadgets.
Wait, more overvalued. Apple or Facebook? I should be doing this in the Weekly Ringer.
Well, if you're talking about Facebook at its inception.
No, I didn't ask that question.
What's Facebook trading at now? Like 18, 19?
If it's trading more than $5, it's grossly overvalued, and you know it as well as I do.
True. Okay.
So tell me who's overvalued there.
Apple's also dropped like 100 points in the past.
A tremendous supply chain. There also happen to be a freaking hardware company, right?
They're a gadget company.
They're an engineering company that produces products.
True.
What does Facebook produce?
Well, Samsung produces the product, but you know what I mean.
What?
Huh?
What?
What?
No.
Hey.
Foxconn?
Yeah. No. Samsung. Samsung makes like so many components for Apple. So many.
No, that is fail. Anyway.
Yeah, I think Carrara
too? Like one of our
two. I thought those were L's. I don't know what he's doing. Apple is overvalued. Facebook is hyperinflated, and I think that's correct.
Of course, because all social media are. Just look at LinkedIn. It's the same thing. Now, I like LinkedIn.
Well, but LinkedIn actually connects professionals. That has a use. It's not just pictures of cats all day. Speaking of...
picturesofcats.com.
All
right. You know what? So we've only been going 13 minutes on the news and notes section, and the podcast has gone so far south that I think we need to move on to the topic du jour. Do you agree with that? Stop with the kitties.
Okay. Bye, kitty.
Okay. Good. Next.
Yes, right. The topic du jour. I'm very ready for this topic. Let's do it.
We're gonna move right along. To the topic du jour, which is, oh, by the way, you guys can continue to ask questions. Some of you have already asked questions, which is great because now I'll consider them for the question and answer session.
Oh.
Anyway, so let's move on to the topic du jour, which is, for those of you that don't know, Rue, fill them in. What happened? What happened this week that was so earth-shatteringly interesting?
Well, there was an election. But if you're talking about last week, Disney happened to buy Lucasfilm.
Right.
Which, that was really kind of out of nowhere. I don't know anyone who was expecting that or anything like that.
No, I agree.
And it's important to note that, probably the main reason they bought us because of Star Wars, obviously. Yes, well, you can debate that later, but
yeah, no, agreed.
You have to realize just how many properties are involved with Lucasfilm. And actually, I looked this up before. I'm going to bring it up again.
Is there a list of properties associated with Lucasfilm?
Of course there is. Are you crazy?
Well,
okay.
Indiana Jones.
Well, first of all, let's go to the subsidiaries. Industrial Light and Magic, which has been the special effects house for decades.
Right.
Really. Skywalker Sound, which does post-production.
Right.
You got LucasArts, which does the video games.
Oh, yeah.
You got Lucas Books, which is not a small amount of book publishing there.
Nope.
You got Lucasfilm Animation, which is fairly new. This does a lot of Star Wars stuff too.
Absolutely.
And then, that's the main stuff. And then you got the list of movie properties: Star Wars, Indiana Jones, Howard the Duck.
Howard the Duck. That's exciting.
Red Tails.
My dark horse of the acquisition is Howard the Duck.
And let's not forget, we can finally see a sequel possibly to Radioland Murders.
Or American Graffiti.
Never heard of it.
No, no, I don't think they could actually do that. I think that that's the property of some other very large media company.
And,
Anyway, so
and before we move on, though,
yeah,
I think it's interesting to note that people give George Lucas a lot of crap for being a merchandising whore and selling out in the extreme,
among many, many other things.
among many other things. And Disney bought Lucasfilm for $4 billion. I think half of that was money, half of that was stock, which they're going to buy back slowly over time. Regardless, George Lucas, more money than God now.
Yes.
Yet,
Because it was a private entity.
yes,
It wasn't a publicly traded company.
Yes. He there's the George Lucas Educational Foundation, which is a big philanthropic venture of his.
Yes.
And also, he is one of those super rich guys who is pledged to donate his money after he's gone to the Bill Gates Foundation, or Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation.
Yep.
So interesting to note that this giant sale, while it does go to line Lucas's pockets, in the end, is actually going to be quite a philanthropic venture. I blew your mind.
I didn't think about that. You blew my mind with that one. I had thought I really had anticipated every topic of conversation that we could possibly venture into tonight.
I win,
and I wasn't expecting that one. So next time, come to the damn pre-show meetings, and this won't happen anymore. I don't know what to say about that, except I think that's actually pretty cool. I mean,
yeah, it puts a whole
if he follows through, and he donates the bills to charity. I mean, how could you argue with that? That's pretty sweet, man. That means all of us, all this time, we're actually secretly funding a charity.
Yeah, so it makes the money spent on the prequels not quite as hurtful. They're still pretty hurtful.
Yeah, okay, fair enough.
Yeah.
I'd go see a crappy movie for people to, be able to have a fresh meal or something.
Yeah. Beer Ninja, he thinks that the cash he got from this sale already went to charity and the rest will go later. Perhaps, I don't know the exact details. All I know is that, like Warren Buffett and stuff, the stuff that goes to the Gates Foundation is like, I think it's more of like a, by the time they die, they're just going to leave all the money there. And over time.
But there's also the issue of the purchase of when.
Right.
So when this thing became purchased is interesting because the laws are going to change around privately held companies.
Another interesting thing, because this deal went down right before. I'm sorry to be talking a little bit of political inside baseball for people outside the U.S., but there's this fiscal cliff thing where there's going to be a lot more taxes on transactions such as this unless Congress does something about it by the end of the year. So it's interesting that this got done before that.
Right. So, I think George Lucas was probably saving a lot of money. But if he donates it to charity, then he's actually saving the charity a lot of money then. So I guess I can't really hurt
exactly. So
him on that one. All right, so let's cut the bullshit here. Okay, let's not talk about charity for God's sakes. What the hell kind of a podcast is this?
I know, heaping praise upon George Lucas for his good work. That's
just
crap.
Shut the hell up.
That's crap.
That's not going to happen anymore.
I apologize.
We're going to talk instead about the real verdict of what this means. So all of us are here. We're interested in what this means. And don't you dare mention charity. What does this mean?
Well,
for me, as a fan of a lot of Lucasfilm properties, including Howard the Duck?
Well, very good point. I think we're going to see Howard the Duck quadrology.
Well, remember Howard the Duck 2, Clan of the Grey Wolf.
Yes.
Anyway, continue.
Yes. It's coming June 2020.
June 2020. We're getting in pre-production tonight.
Okay, so there's actually a lot of different things to talk about. There's really two big things. There's the movies and the video games. That's two different topics. Let's hit the movies first.
All right, go ahead.
Obviously, huge that why is Howard the Duck so prominent in this discussion? Why is it not prominent in more discussions?
I know. Why isn't Howard the Duck in more conversations around the world? That's what I want to know. Okay. I think the world would be a better place if people talk less about Star Wars and more about Howard the Duck.
So the big thing is the Star Wars. Star Wars is now owned by Disney, and they're going to be making a new trilogy after the main trilogy at some point.
Has it been announced as a trilogy yet? All I've heard is a single film. Okay.
Nope, trilogy, and the first film coming out in 2015, which seems astonishingly quick.
Yeah. Well, it had to be good.
True.
They just said it had to be a movie.
True.
There'll be a movie coming out.
Okay.
Star Wars 7.
I want to poll the audience.
Yep.
In one word, everybody.
One word.
What is your thoughts on there being a new Star Wars trilogy? One word, go.
It's one word. There should be thought.
What is your thought?
What is your thought? Sarah.
That's a great thought.
That is a great thought. Billy. Yay.
Okay, we got meh, apathetic, awesome.
Awesome.
Skeptical.
Meh.
Bloat.
Interesting.
Orgasm. Poopy. Apocalypse.
Yeah. This is cool. Hopeful. Okay, hopeful. I like that.
Okay, so it seems a few
that
people...
That is not one word, Nightshade.
You should take out the spaces in it's one word.
Yeah, no, exactly.
Okay. A couple people are very excited. Mostly, there seems to be a bit of ambivalence.
Yeah.
Do you blame these people?
Not at all. Not at all. So here's the thing. Let's just get down. It's 22 minutes after the hour, for God's sakes. We really got to get into this thing. Some nerd rage has to show through. I might as well get this show kick-started. Here we go.
Kickstarter. We did that was 2 episodes ago.
I said kick-started, not Kickstarter.
Sorry.
I'm not raising money for anything yet until we decide to make Howard the Duck 2 Planet of the Grey Wolf. Anyway, or we decide to take up money for random reasons to start my Twitter feed, apparently. I don't know. Anyway, so puns. So, yeah. So when I saw this, first of all, my jaw hit the floor, right? I mean, this is unbelievable.
Sounds painful.
It's unbelievable. It came out of, not literally. It was figuratively hitting. Anyway, so the point is that I was flabbergasted. I didn't see this coming at all. I didn't know this was going to happen. And it seems like a kind of crazy, random thing. But yet, it's something that we're all really invested in. So I was really pissed about it. I mean, I thought, what the hell is going on? Why in the world is Disney buying Star Wars, and why are they making more movies? And I was more pissed. I wasn't as pissed about Disney buying Star Wars. Okay, fine, right? What do I care that, people buying Luke Skywalker figures are going to be paying Disney now and not paying George? I don't give a crap about that, right? But the fact that they're making new movies, that upset me as a Star Wars fan. Did you have the same reaction?
My first reaction was shock, as I'm sure everyone's was. Slift took me completely off the topic.
I know.
Sorry about that. Very good. I tip my hat to you with your disturbing ways. Shock, and then kind of a hopeful ambivalence. I was like, I
only expect your initial feeling, and then all right. So we'll move to the second phase. So you went to ambivalence. Why?
Yeah, well, because obviously, seriously, you might like the prequel trilogy. It is very difficult to argue, I think, that it is good cinema at all.
In fact, we, on an initial iteration of this very podcast,
right,
had a whole lot to say about it. As I recall, about an hour and a half worth.
at least.
So don't worry, anybody that thinks we're going to be here for an hour and a half or not. So anyway,
right.
Keep going. Yes.
So the last track record wasn't good. Then I thought, okay, hold on. And I said the first thing that I saw about it was that George Lucas will not be directing. He will not be writing. He will be like a Maharaja or whatever.
Whatever, yeah. The guru,
basically. He's gonna be there in the background, blessing everything. Fine.
Right. You bring up a great point here.
Mm-hmm.
And this is where I went. And I'm going to tell you, I thought back to the earlier iteration of this podcast. I thought about a lot of the problems that you and I had with Star Wars. And
hold on. Vulcan Assassin just crossed the line. He said that Lucas is like Miyamoto with game development now.
Oh, that's just absurd.
That's hurtful.
That's just absurd.
Okay, go ahead with your thought. Sorry.
I
go to your room.
Yeah, go to your room, Vulcan. Actually, Vulcan Assassin has been in this room longer than anyone else has.
That's
So
true.
Vulcan Assassin deserves to stay. The point is, that's a very inside joke, folks. Sorry. Anyway, so no, I started to think about this very podcast that we had about this, and I started to think about all the things that we were levying as criticism. I also saw The People versus George Lucas, which levies a lot of criticism against George Lucas about Star Wars and all of these other things that he's produced. Okay. And then I realized, and I'm going to pause here for dramatic effect.
Okay. I'm ready.
George Lucas is giving us exactly what we wanted.
Yeah.
Exactly what we wanted.
More importantly, I think it's exactly what George Lucas wanted. I think he's been...
No, screw George Lucas. It's not about George Lucas. George Lucas is giving us exactly what we wanted. We wanted Star Wars to be out of his hands.
Yes.
Star Wars is now out of his hands.
This is the greatest thing he could have done for Star Wars, honestly.
We wanted someone with a kind of understanding of Star Wars, but not a vested interest in the crap that was put out for the prequels to make Star Wars, which is exactly what's happening.
Mm-hmm.
And we wanted to move on from our intense hatred of Mr. George Lucas. And I think now all of us can stop hating him.
Right. Carrara 2 says he could have done that in 1990. True. But he was a god in 1990. He has much come down to earth since then.
Yes.
And then some.
Did you see Tailspin 2 or whatever the hell that movie was, Red Tails, or what the hell the name of the movie was that he produced last year? Awful. The point is, George Lucas has lost his mojo as a director. I think he knows it. And it's time for Star Wars to move on to another generation. One of the things that Star Wars, listen to me. One of the things that George Lucas always said about Star Wars was that he would love to see it kind of get passed to a new generation. And that's exactly what's happening.
Yes.
The torch is getting passed.
To a new generation of Americans.
Yeah.
I can't remember what quote that was.
Yeah, I don't either.
Oh, anyway, my point is that...
It's not. What Star Wars for you? Yeah, okay, go ahead.
So the interesting thing here is that it always goes back to the Red Letter Media guys, right? Because they have such really interesting insight to anything Lucas related. And I remember when they were talking with the director for People versus George Lucas.
Yep.
And they were basically saying, like, it seems like George Lucas doesn't like Star Wars. If you look at his interviews and the way he's constantly tinkering with it, and really, he must know he's tweaking fans in the face for the past decade with all these changes he's making to the original trilogy, not to mention
right in the face hole. Yep.
Right in the face hole. It seems like he just doesn't like it. He wants to be done with it. So why does he keep tinkering with it?
All right, so I'm gonna blow your mind here.
Right.
I'm gonna blow your mind because you're absolutely right. Okay, George Lucas. If you've ever seen the South Park episode with Indiana Jones, it's not for the faint of heart, but you should totally check it out. It's fantastic. Talking about what George Lucas and Steven Spielberg do to the movies when they retouch old films that they put out. So I'm going to blow your mind here. One of the things that we've always called for, this is a big, big topic in The People versus George Lucas, is about the release of the original trilogy as they were theatrically released, or edited, I should say, in high definition.
Mm-hmm.
So do you know at this moment what the definitive version of the original trilogy is?
Laserdisc.
Laserdisc, exactly. The reason why is because Laserdisc is the only iteration of the theatrical versions that have been released in high definition.
Bowtie guy got it. Yep.
Right, there you go. Boom.
And that's hilarious. That's a
20-year-old. But here's what I'm going to blow your mind. So we've all been sitting here. There have been freaking huge online petitions written and signed about this, about releasing these films. And George Lucas has raised his overworked and overpaid middle finger. at all of us and saying, no, you can't have it. It doesn't make any damn sense why you can't have it, but you can't have it.
It's like a weird ownership thing of something he hates. It's like a love-hate relationship.
Exactly. But now, why? Disney has exactly the opposite issue with their history. They release Cinderella once every 25 years on the format du jour, and it's all, been completely redone and completely remade to be perfect. Why? I think that within the next 5 years, we will see what we've always wanted to see, which is a re-release of the original trilogy in the theatrical version in high definition.
Now, I believe, from what I've read, there's some issues with 20th Century Fox to make that happen, but you gotta think that Disney realizes, someone up there at Disney, they aren't stupid. They realize they're sitting on a gold mine. If they can get, if they can make sure they have all those rights to get the original trilogy out there on Blu-ray, that is a license to print money. And,
it is.
And I think that $4 billion for Lucasfilm is a steal. In the end, I think they're going to recoup this within 5 years.
I agree. Well, the merchandising.
Well, by the end of the second movie, I'll say.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. And I think the idea of the release of the original trilogy is fantastic. So I did not own the Star Wars movies until very recently, and the only reason I bought the movies on DVD is because I got the collection that contained the original unedited theatrical versions as bonus discs.
Mm-hmm.
Now, do you think I ever watched the high definition special editions? Absolutely not. All I watch is the theatrical versions, even though they're crappy, right?
Right. Well,
because it's the original theatrical versions.
Right.
I mean, crappy in terms of quality, not crappy.
Yeah, I know what you're saying.
Gotcha. Okay. So if they re-release this thing, you're absolutely right. They're sitting on a freaking gold mine. I mean, there's no reason not to do this, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I think it's very possible we're going to see that. And in other words, it just goes to fill in my point, which is that George Lucas gave us exactly what we were looking for when he sold the company to Disney.
Yes. Now, Red Neptune makes an interesting point. He says that they bought. I didn't look into this. He said that Pixar bought Disney bought Pixar for $6.5 billion. So honestly, I mean, Pixar is great, but to buy Star Wars and all the associated properties plus everything else Lucas has done essentially for $4 billion, good deal.
Yep.
And Sonic Rose says that this is Disney. I shudder to think how much money they pumped into Wreck-It Ralph. You know what? That was one of the news items that we were going to talk about.
We were.
Wreck-It Ralph came out. There you go.
Wreck-It Ralph came out. There you go. News and notes. The T&B.
Sounds good. Yeah, there's our T&B.
There's our T&B for the day. So I'll give you a comparison there. Steve Jobs, George Lucas. I rest my case.
They both suck? What?
No. Steve Jobs sold a company.
They're both dead?
Sold a company that he was the chairman of for $6 billion, even though he didn't have Star Wars under his belt. He had Toy Stories.
Oh,
right?
Oh.
And George Lucas has freaking 40 years of filmmaking, and he sells the company for $4 billion.
You're not going to be one of those people that says that Steve Jobs had anything worthwhile to do with Pixar except for pumping money into it, are you?
Douglas. Absolutely.
Just like how he developed the iPhone and the Apple II and the people in the background actually doing the work were getting shafted.
Come on.
Listen. Come on.
I am no Apple fanboy. I don't use Apple products.
Don't give me that crap. Don't give me that crap.
But to not give Steve Jobs credit is a joke. I mean, it's absolutely a joke.
He was a great marketer.
He's not a great marketer.
George Lucas is a great editor.
He's a great businessman, and that's my whole point. He's a great businessman. He made a business. He sold it for $6 billion to one of the largest corporations in the world.
Howard the Duck.
George Lucas sells Howard the Duck for $4 billion.
All right. Okay. A bow tie guy makes a very good point. Stop arguing, idiots.
No, he actually said, "Stapo, arguing, idiots."
That's also a good point.
Yeah, whatever. Right?
Okay. Well, we got to move on.
BS flute has been busted out. I love
it. I think BS. I'm calling BS.
I actually have the BS flute right here.
You got a flute too.
flute, yeah.
and they're both skin colored.
Gotta wet your whistle when you play the BS one. Okay, good.
Wait, hold on. Let's do that together.
Right? Harmonize.
Yep.
We're in different keys.
That's fine. That's fine. Go for it. All right, that was BS.
That didn't work. All right, next.
All right, before we move on,
yes, let's do this.
What?
Give me your prognostication. Tell me what's going to happen with this Lucasfilm acquisition in a minute or less. Go.
Okay. Blades, I think, made a very good point earlier. Or he
Don't
said,
answer the question with a question.
No. I'm just making it go into the thing. He said that it's going to be. He said, "How can we trust Disney?" And I would say normally, good point. How do we know that this other big conglomeration company is going to do any better than Lucas? 2 points. One, it can't be much worse, honestly. Two, Marvel. When Disney bought Marvel, people thought it was going to be the end of that property as anything worthwhile.
Yep.
And they have done amazing.
Clearly, they were right. Yeah.
The Marvel-verse, the Avengers, and all those movies have done amazing. I think the comic book fans are more often than not very happy with the results and looking forward to more. And let me just put this out there. Star Wars, directed by Joss Whedon.
No.
Star Wars, directed by Brad Bird. Come on. How is this not good? How is this not a good idea? Please.
No.
Please.
No.
Please.
You missed the point.
No, this is great. These are people that grew up with Star Wars, loved it, and now have the chance to direct it, and they're competent.
Okay, you have a good point there.
Brilliant.
Brilliant. No. If Star Wars is directed by David Lynch, I will watch it, but I probably won't like it.
I'll probably throw up.
David Lynch is one of the most brilliant directors ever. But I would not watch a Star Wars. I don't think I'd like a Star Wars film directed by David Lynch. Anyway, so
we got to move on. We still haven't even talked about the video games. You got to wrap up the movie stuff.
Oh, Jesus. All right. So here's the thing. So I think the future has opened up for other things. I think the future has opened up to, newer, fresher directors that haven't really made their name the way Lucas hadn't when he started Star Wars. And I think there's some interesting, but honestly, he was doing that already. So have you ever seen the Clone Wars TV show, which I think is actually very good?
Yeah, it is very good. And the guy who plays Anakin can act.
Okay. And so, or at least he's better than Hayden Christensen. But anyway,
that's what I'm saying.
Yeah. All right, fair enough. So, but anyway, so there's, I think a door gets opened to be able to direct this movie, not by the big time directors, but by people that haven't necessarily made their name yet.
True, but I don't think it's going to happen.
But I think you're right. Disney is much more controlling. I can see that. All right, let's talk about the video games.
Wait.
We move on.
One last thing. What do you think? I don't know how familiar you are with the expanded universe, but there is a whole mess of stuff that they could talk about. A lot of people will generally say that the Thrawn trilogy, if I'm pronouncing that right, is the best of those stories.
Yep.
What do you think? Do you think Disney's going to go for something completely different, or are they going to mine the expanded universe?
They're going to go for something completely different.
I think so as well. And you know what my reason is? They don't have to pay licensing fee. I think that's going to be the reason. I think that's going to be it.
They don't have to pay a licensing fee anyway. They own it.
Well, yeah, but the author.
Oh, you mean to go into like a book?
Yeah, they got to pay the author for his idea.
Oh yeah. Oh, I mean, I don't know. I can see that happen, but I think that's less probable than I think we see. I am all right. I put $20 on the table right now that Mark Hamill will be in another Star Wars movie.
Oh, if asked, yeah.
$20 on the table right now. It's happening. I don't know why. Because now
it's not doing anything else.
Luke Skywalker at 50 years old. Oh yeah, got you going there, didn't I?
Anyway,
Mind selectively blown. They put the headphone jack on the bottom.
Oh my god.
Anyway, so yeah, no, I really do. I think there's some interesting I think there's some interesting possibilities opening up with the films, but I think they're going to continue with the story, and I think they're going to do the best that they can. Darth Hamill is probably going to come to the fore, and we'll see how Luke Skywalker becomes an evil Jedi Knight of the Sith. All right, cool. So
Iron Man versus Darth Vader. Video games. There is also, beyond obviously all the Star Wars video games that Lucas Arts has made,
Yes.
there's a lot of, I think people would say, cult favorites that they published. Ones I hear most often are Grim Fandango.
Oh,
A lot of adventure games. LucasArts was the king of adventure games for a while.
they were the de facto standard for adventure games for the better part of 15 years.
Zombies Ate My Neighbors. You know, I actually forgot about that, Carrara. They did make
Zombies Ate My Neighbors. Absolutely, I could see that happening. You know, my fave. I'm going to jump right on to Full Throttle.
That's true. That was good. Maniac Mansion. There are a couple games there in that series.
The Dig, which is an underestimated game that was released probably a little bit too late in the cycle to be made popular, but very cool.
Right. Indiana Jones games. Monkey Island.
Obviously. Yeah, Monkey Island is, yeah. I mean,
Of
Monkey
course.
Island, of course. Well, here's what I would love. You know what I would love to see? The favorite game, I take it back. It would not be, no, not Sam & Max. And it wouldn't be Full Throttle. It would be a new game in the X-Wing and TIE Fighter series.
And that's something I see a lot of people really going nuts over the idea of.
Oh my God, that would be so good. I mean, there's no good space fighter sim anymore. There's just not anything anywhere close to that, you know? I remember the old days of remember you had the keyboard and I had the F-15 flight stick and we'd fly around on my 386 just blowing. Yeah.
And the other person would be the astromech.
Yeah, the astromech droid. Hey, I need you to cycle the shields. Anyway, before we get too deep in nostalgia here, is there anything else you want to say about the acquisition before we reveal way too much about our childhoods?
Well, I mean, I don't know. Do you think any of these games are going to make a comeback, or do you think Disney gives a crap about any of these old games? I'm thinking probably not. Sadly.
Yeah, I don't think they give a crap about that at all. I think they bought it for Star Wars.
Maybe a new
Indiana Jones.
Yeah.
Although Indiana Jones is kind of tired.
I think if any of these games we talked about have a chance of being redone or re-released or remade, it would be Star Wars TIE Fighter.
I agree.
I don't think there's anyone.
Makes me happy.
True. I don't think there's. Sadly, I mean, I love Sonic Rose. I love Maniac Mansion as well. I think most people first played it on the NES. I sadly am not going to hold my breath for anything like that to be released.
Nope, not going to happen.
I don't think there's anyone at Disney really chomping at that bit. So
new. Yeah. And I agree. I don't think any games are going to result from this that I think we're really looking forward to. The greatest possibility is a new game in the X-Wing versus TIE Fighter series. But I think what we'll probably end up with, because of the age of consoles and mobile gaming and so forth, is something much closer to what was it called? Rogue Squadron for N64.
Yeah, and then GameCube, and yeah,
which was kind of a really, really watered down X-Wing versus TIE Fighter.
That's more difficult. That was made by Factor 5. And
it was, but my point is, it's a very watered down version of the universe.
Yeah.
It's just not the same kind of a thing that I think X-Wing versus TIE Fighter could be if they kind of really. Oh, the other thing is, with the new, I don't know if you've seen that new headset that's being released with Quake 3 BFG edition. But you actually, plop it on your head and you go three-dimensional. You can look around and everything. If they did that with TIE Fighter, I don't even care how much it costs. Just sign me up. I'm buying one right now. Just
fair enough.
Put it on my tab.
Also, I have to thank Cord for putting his ass on the table, and then just go with it. And Paulie Karma says more pod racing, or pod racing ? Which I will take to mean more pod racing, please. I love pod racing.
Yeah, exactly. All right, so we covered a lot of things here, and I think what we're really coming up with is this:
overjoyed or pissed off. You said you were pissed off at first.
I was really pissed off, but then I thought about it and I realized I actually might be happy about it.
I'm ambivalent, leaning toward hopeful. Bow tie guy is absolutely apathetic.
I'm happy about it. I mean, I'm happy. I think this is going to signal a really good, renaissance of Star Wars. We've seen a renaissance of Star Trek, which I love, and I'd love to see a renaissance of Star Wars.
New movie's coming out too, so we'll see. I don't think the full renaissance of Star Trek will be complete until there's a new series. Which
all right, I get to ask the first question before we get into the Q&A.
Uh-huh.
What were you a fan of first, Star Wars or Star Trek?
Star Trek.
Me too.
The funny thing is that both are because of you and Michael back in the day.
That's right. I know.
Got me started on Star Trek in 7th grade, and then Star Wars freshman year of high school. I hadn't seen Star Wars before that.
You hadn't seen Star Trek before the 7th grade?
Not really.
Holy shit, dude. That's unbelievable.
I know.
I actually cannot believe that.
I mean, I'd seen it, but I wasn't into it. It was mostly the old stuff, like the old series and the old movies.
Oh my God. I feel like I've known you forever. I feel like I don't even know you anymore.
Well, you got me started on Next Generation, which was awesome. So
you own the cards before we even met you. I mean, how's that possible?
No,
anyway, all right, whatever.
What?
All right, cool. So I think we've adequately covered the topic. Let's move on.
Ding.
All right.
Ding.
So what we need the BS whistle. No. So we need to move on to everyone's favorite part of the show. That didn't even remotely reflect a fanfare. Or something like that. That's what we needed to do. Okay. For everybody's favorite part of the show, the question and answer session. So what we want you to do now is to send us the questions that you are burning you up inside.
I would send you the questions.
Yeah, send me the questions. So how you do that is you actually click my name, which is this, exclamation point Commodore 128. Click my name, click PM, send me a private message, and let me know what your question is. The question could be about the topics today, either from the T&B, news and notes, or it could be from the topic du jour, or it could be about anything you want to ask us. Anything at all. Anything at all.
At all.
At all. All right, here we go.
What we got? What we got?
Question.
Go. What you got?
Sonic Rose. The always first to question Sonic Rose. When was the last time you played Castlevania Symphony of the Night?
The last time or the first time? You know what? I've never fully completed the game.
Are you out of your... What the hell?
I remember playing it at your house.
This is awful.
I liked it. I've been meaning...
You're off the site.
I've been meaning to buy it on Xbox for a long time. You monster. You don't belong in this world. See, I get that. I understand it.
This is awful. I feel betrayed. The last time I played it all the way through, or the last time I played it? The last time I played it was actually fairly recently. I played it probably within the last year and a half. I don't go more than probably 5 years without popping that sucker in there and at least playing the first couple chapters, because it's just so much fun. It's a great game. If you want to know all about what I think about Castlevania Symphony, go click on the Weekly Ringer and take a look at that. All right,
I got a -2. You other guy gets a +2.
Oh, I guess I'm other guy. Cool, awesome. All right,
Commodore.
Let's see. Oh, nice. Let's see here. Here's a great question from the Bowtie guy. What do you think of the future of Windows 8?
We were just talking about this randomly before the show. I haven't had a chance. I haven't had a chance to mess with it yet. It seems pretty interesting for a tablet interface, but I just haven't had a chance yet. That's what I got.
So you don't really have any comments?
Not really. Seems interesting. It seems useless for a desktop, so I'm not getting it for my desktop. But.
I firmly believe in the skip version theory of Microsoft, which means that you really just skip every other version, and then you get a really good version of Windows that you should be able to use. That has held true in the past. I think it'll hold true in the future. I actually really like Windows 7. Ergo,
you win.
I don't think I'll be using Windows 8. And I don't think it'll probably be... the only reason I'll probably use Windows 8 is if it's on a tablet or a phone interface. And I'll be honest with you, I like Android so much, I doubt I'll probably move to Windows Phone. So Windows 8 as an operating system specifically, I mean, it is what it is. It's just a
And that's
brand
all
new
that it is.
x86 operating system. Yeah, I know. Thanks, Popeye.
It's Popeye the Sailor Man.
Yeah, okay, very good. Well played.
That's your time is up, Toot.
Okay, got it. Next, I got it. All right, cool. Windows 8, I think, as an operating system is probably fairly limited in what it's going to be able to accomplish. Next one. Here we go. So, Sky Sam Freeman says, "Have you played Grim Fandango? And what did you think of it?"
Sadly, I have not. Again, I suck. Though I have been wanting
no,
to.
So I'll come out and rightly say it. I remember that game being released. I remember there being a ton of talk about it. I've even watched people play it. I have never played it myself. I said it. There you go. So you're 0 for 2. Sorry,
I was not huge on adventure games in the day. I played my fair share, but Grim Fandango wasn't one of them.
Yeah, I think that's a good point.
I did play Full Throttle.
Full Throttle.
Yeah.
Awesome game. Here's a question from Satbell. How many cats does Rue have? 2. Oh, that was easy.
That was easy.
Man, I should have found another question before I asked that one. All right, here's a good one. Here's a good on-topic
why
question.
Play every game. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah. Here's a new question from Billy Chaser.
It's Billy.
That's a Billy Chaser.
It's a Billy Chaser. Yeah, go ahead.
What would you personally like to see in episode 7? So if you had to write the script, what would you say?
See, my ambivalence has prevented me from really thinking heavily about this.
Good point.
What would I like to see? I don't know. You got something? I want to think about this for a second.
I think I would, it's funny. If you guys had asked me what I want to see in
Jar Jar Binks,
Game of Thrones books or TV, I probably would have been ready with that. But now that we're moving into like Star Wars, I'd like to see exactly what I said. I would really like to see kind of Luke ushering in kind of a new era of Jedis. Jedi. Did I just say Jedis? I did. It's like saying deers. I apologize. Anyway, so I'd like to see that. I'd like to see, so there's that whole, what was that Star Wars game with the Soldier of Fortune people? Raven Software made it. Jedi Knight.
Oops.
The Kyle Katarn, sorry.
Yeah.
Kyle Katarn, I don't like that character. Actually, I hate him. But I like the idea, I like the era, I like the setting, so that Luke is now kind of propagating a whole new group of Jedi. And it's kind of starting the cycle all over again, and there are interesting things to tell there. I think I would like to see that. What I would not like to see is every single character from the prequels or from the original series, now the prequels, make useless cameo appearances in these films. That's something I would not like to see.
No Jar Jar?
No Jar Jar.
I would like to see the original actors be a part of the story. I wouldn't like to see it completely different. Very good point, Bish, please. That's really all I can hope for, I think.
All right. Moving right along. Here's another one. Flint Steel 7 asks, would you like to see a new X-Wing TIE Fighter game on the PC or on a console? Great question.
I think it's got to be PC.
See, I would agree with you until Kinect.
Really? You're going to go with Kinect?
Yes. I'm going to go with Kinect. You want to know why? Because everything we just talked about with those wonderful nostalgic memories of our youth, the idea that you have the astromech droid and the friend. What did we do? You said, hey, cycle the shields. You said, hey, full forward. You said, hey, I need full throttle or half throttle, right? Well, now you have that.
True,
you
but
just
I don't think
steer the ship and you fire and you tell the computer what you want it to do and it does it.
I think the way we played that was because we're huge dorks. I don't think you were supposed to play it that way.
You are so right.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I can totally see that happening.
Swing your arms to dodge the asteroids. yeah, that's what it would devolve into. I gotta say PC.
And I get that. I totally get that.
Although it sounds interesting on the Wii U, maybe. You got a little screen in
Why,
front of
why
you?
is it all of a sudden exciting in the Wii U? You're
Because
such
the
a
Wii
freaking fan.
U is the future,
You're
man.
such a freaking fanboy. It's just
You
disgusting.
just can't wait.
I wish you'd just come out and just admit it because it's just embarrassing for all of us. More embarrassing than you haven't played
Time's
Symphony.
up. Sorry.
All right, so I already answered that question in the podcast. How about this one? Have you guys? Oh, this is by Green Gear. Have you guys played slash seen Double Dragon Neon?
Um. Yes, I did play that. I knew that sounded familiar. I played that at E3.
Well, I have not. So you tell me about it.
It's like a reimagined Double Dragon, in an '80s style. It's very '80s rific, and it was actually a lot of fun.
I like that.
Um,
Double Dragon is very 80s. It's one of the cool parts about it, you know?
uh,
It is kind of very,
and
it's a period piece.
and it's very tongue in cheek. Man, it's been like half a year since I played it, so a lot of the details are kind of fuzzy. If you like Double Dragon, I say get it because it was awesome. For what it was, then you should get it. You should get that seriously.
Double Dragon was one of my favorite games as a kid to play in the arcade. The bowling alley where I grew up had a Double Dragon machine, and I think I wasted more quarters there than I did in any other game they had. It was just awesome.
Mm-hmm.
All right, cool. Here's another question. So KHOG1431 asks,
I didn't read the IGN review for it. Sorry.
what instruments do you play besides those drums in the background? Well, it's great for you to notice.
Skin flute.
KHOG1431. Skin flute. The BS flute. Also, I actually play trombone, which I believe you also play or played at one time, Rue.
Yeah, every once in a while.
That might or might not be the entire basis of our entire relationship.
If you know what I mean.
If you know what I mean. I did it. Anyway, so there's that. And then I'm also a singer. That's really what I am. I'm really a singer. It just happens to play some instruments.
You used to do both in a band not too long ago.
I did, not too long ago. Left it behind. But in any case, all right, cool. Let's see here.
Thank you, Polykarma. PM your questions to !Commodore 128. However, we don't have too much time. Let's go a little more. Let's like 5 more minutes.
Yeah. Well, I mean, come on. Yeah, make it last with people.
50 more minutes.
All right. So
Woman.
What? All right, here we go. So, which knight asks, what were you and Rue for Halloween?
Ooh.
Wait. In parentheses, please feel free to humor me if you did not dress up. So, in other words, make something up.
I was going to be a hipster, but
then you realized that wouldn't really be much of a costume for you.
What? No, I need like horn rim glasses and too tight jeans and
PBR.
Actually, it's really funny because my wife had a what was it? Historic preservation for Obama pin because she got from her boss who is in historic preservation. It's so esoteric. It was like that would be perfect. But no, unfortunately, I was going to go to 2 Halloween parties and they both fell through. The people wound up having like emergencies and had to cancel. So I couldn't be a hipster. Maybe sad.
All right. So I
was going to be a hipster, but it was too obscure.
Yeah. So I didn't dress up this year. But I can give you a couple of my past costumes if that will help. I did. I went as Quail Man. I think that was the most recent Halloween party that I went to.
That was very good.
It was a good Quail Man. I might post that. If I ever get a Twitter feed. Anyway, Sonic Rose. There are a couple people. Actually, a couple people have given me some good ideas for Twitter feed. If you can think of a good Twitter feed name for the Commodore, let me know. You can also PM that to me. Anyway, I also went as Rorschach from The Watchmen.
That was good.
The year before that, which was a really good costume. I thought that was probably my best work ever.
Oh, if we're going back over old costumes, let's see. I was Ben from Lost a few years
That
ago.
was really good. That was a good one.
I basically just had to look beat up.
Well, I mean, like I said,
I actually really enjoyed the Tetris block. I thought that was fun.
yeah, that was really good. I like that one.
And I had a place to put my beer. But I think one of my favorites was my roommate and I in college were Mario and Luigi, and our suite mate was Link, and there was a girl down the hall who was going to be Zelda, but she got sick for Halloween,
We don't need to tell everybody.
and
We don't
so
need to tell
Commodore decided to be Zelda instead. He took over. It was his finest hour. I think I have pictures of that somewhere. I got to find them.
No, I was about to say, please don't share the pictures.
I got them.
For a long time, I had that wig. You realize that? I held on to that wig for a very long time. Actually, I think I gave it back to its rightful owner.
Did you use it?
While she was in the hospital.
You know what I mean?
I'm serious.
Oh.
No, I didn't use it. All right, so let's see. Neo Vico has a question. What are your feelings about G4 TV taking its two popular shows off the air?
Not surprised. Actually, it's
I
funny.
was surprised.
When this came out, when this information came out, I actually had a little bit of inside information that this was happening months ago. And so when it came out, I didn't realize that my mind had conflagrated it. And I thought that was already like known information. And obviously it wasn't. But I felt special because of that. But apparently G4 is going the whole way that a lot of these niche channels are. And they're just going with anything. Anything that sells.
Garbage. Yeah.
So, I mean, G4, ever since they bought Tech TV, has really gone downhill. So there you go.
All right, Zero Flame 16. With talking about Double Dragon Neon, what old school game would you want to see remade today? Great question.
You know what? ActRaiser.
Throw one out there. I know you got a ton of them. Just throw one out there and explain why.
ActRaiser. That was a great mix of genres.
Hey, can you take one that doesn't steal mine?
Nope. Sorry.
Damn it. ActRaiser was totally going to be my first.
Zombies Ate My Neighbors actually would also be a lot of fun to have remade.
Yeah, that's a good one. Well, I mean, we've already started it. We might as well finish it. I would say remake X-Wing.
Oh,
it's right for it. Yeah, I would love to see that happen.
Oh,
all
wait,
right, cool.
Jax Mandrake said there's a pic in the Zelda episode of 16-Bit Gems. Did I already put you in the Zelda costume in one of my episodes and I forgot about it? Awesome.
I don't want to know. If it's there, I don't want to know. That was a while ago. Yeah.
That's why I don't remember. It was like 2 years ago.
Yeah,
cool.
That was a while ago. If I saw it, I don't remember it. So there you go. All right, let's see. Oh, here's a great question. So I'm going to go with Amstrauss as a pronunciation. What did you guys think of Artemis Spaceship Bridge Simulator?
Ooh.
Do games like this have a chance to catch on? I guess more of in a global marketplace.
I really enjoyed it. I thought there was a lot that more that could have been done with it.
Yeah.
We were both, I think you were there. I think we were both talking with someone recently. You might have been getting a beer, who is perhaps developing a competitor to that. And I like that idea because the more games that have this kind of real bridge simulation feel to them, the better. Does it have a chance to catch on? I got a feeling they're probably going to be niche to a degree. But I'll play them if I have a chance.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I actually was thinking about this the other day. I had so much fun with that.
Oh, yeah.
So after, and those of you who watched the Weekly Ringer know that I recently added the Trekkies movie, Trekkies 2, to my playlist and just watched it on Netflix as a background piece. And I realized that there is that kind of really geeky part of me that always wanted to try something like what Artemis provided. And the fact that we got to do it, in fact, we got to kind of just play around with it a little bit, that was so much fun. Even when you just crashed and burned and died and got blown into 1,000 pieces. it was just great to be at the bridge of your own ship. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And with the obviously with the projector, it made things really really cool as well.
It's very enjoyable.
Yeah, it was good. Let's see.
One more question? Two more questions?
Two more questions. Jax
Okay.
Mandrake, do either of you like the music of Frank Zappa?
Kinda. Not a huge fan. I honestly probably couldn't name very many of his songs.
I don't like Frank Zappa at all. I've never been a Frank Zappa fan
Yeah.
ever. I mean, I get his whole shtick. I'm just not really the whole. I'm not really into it.
Yeah. Meh. Sorry.
Yeah, I'm not all over that. All right, we'll move on to another one. So let's see. Alistair asks, I don't know if I've talked to you about this before, but what are your thoughts on the Ouya? I know Square Enix is
Ooh.
remaking Final Fantasy III for it, for example.
I don't see it going much of anywhere.
You think so?
No.
You think
Or
it's dead in the water?
pretty much.
Do you think it'll be released?
I don't even know that. I mean, there's been so
What's
many
your
of
guess?
these. No.
You don't think it's going to be
There's
released?
been too many of these. Too many of these. What's the word I'm looking for? Um, not shovel.
Kickstarters?
Not shovelware. It's like vaporware kind of projects for me to really take any of them seriously anymore until it's actually out. You know.
Yep.
So I try not to think about it much unless it actually comes out.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, I think that's fair. I think the Ouya represents a kind of interesting coup d'etat that is started by the XBMC craze, popularized with the Roku box. It is the logical conclusion of that argument. It is the perfection of form of the open source hardware, not hardware, but the open source development platform. I just think I don't think it will ever be nearly as popular as any of the other consoles, but I don't think that's ever been what their aim has been.
No.
Their aim is to sell a bunch and to kind of open game making up to a very very large audience, and I think that's awesome. I think that's great.
And hopefully make a profit is what they're hoping for, probably.
Yeah, and I don't know if I'm ready to go that far, but I like the idea of, I do like the idea of the Ouya, and I wish them the best of luck.
Ooh,
The idea
yeah.
of conglomerating everything from OnLive and everything else, I think, is great. So
Yeah, I was kind of sad to see OnLive go, but
yeah.
meh, what you gonna do?
All right, cool.
So is that it?
Wait,
Yeah?
I had one more.
One
Dang
more,
it.
last
What did I
one.
do with it? What did I do with it?
If,
I had a
if
really good
Commodore
one.
can find it,
Dang it. Oh, we already answered that
a
one.
little traveling music for you.
Playing hot cross buns. Okay. Oh, another thing I was going to say. Many of you have asked about our opinions on the Wii U. We've talked about that substantially before. And if you really want to know what I think about the Wii U, just check out the Weekly Ringer about the Wii U. I pretty much talk for about an hour about it, so just get on over there.
I won't have much more to say until I actually get my hands on it, but
Bingo.
I'm sure I'll have plenty.
Bingo. Many, many, many. No. No problems, my friend. Just many of you have asked that question. All right, here we go. Let's see. What else do we have here? I'm going to pick one good one. Here's a really good one. All right. This is going to be the last question of the day. From Red Neptune LP, what do you guys think of Square Enix? Do you guys think they still develop good games, or have they died?
I think Square Enix is in a heap of trouble.
I agree. I
I
agree.
Especially the Square side, so to speak. Did I play Dragon Quest 10? No, that hasn't come out in America, and no one even knows if it's coming out. Last I checked.
Booyah!
And I don't
trying to catch everybody in a lie here.
I don't
Take
have
that.
I don't have a Japanese Wii. I don't go that far. I don't know Japanese. I'd like to play Dragon
I bet
Quest.
your wife's happy about that. Oh, thank you.
I don't get it.
You don't have a Japanese Wii? Okay, whatever. Forget it.
Oh, that's bad on so many levels.
I know it's racist, tasteless, and anyway, whatever. Go ahead, keep going.
And sexist all in one.
Is it really?
Probably in some way. Anyway, play your skin flute.
Oops.
Yeah, but I'd like to. No, but Final Fantasy has been in trouble for a while. You look at the overpricing that Square Enix does on its ports to like smartphones and stuff, and it's weird. It's like they're way out there compared to everyone else in terms of pricing. It's like, are they hurting for money that bad? Are they that out of tune with the marketplace? I don't know. Square Enix is, and then I can't think of the name. There was a recent or a previous Square Enix like head honcho bigwig that really blasted them recently. I don't know if it was today. I more saw the headline than read it, but I mean, that's never good.
No, that is a bad thing. If you're in that position, you're probably not doing so well. You know,
I agree.
I really like Square Enix. I really want to see them produce great games. My thoughts about the perils of Japanese game developments are very well known and published on the site. I would say Square Enix is kind of the poster child for that. They make great games for a Japanese audience.
Man, that's racist.
They don't make very good games for anybody else. And I think that's awful. You know, look at somebody like, for example, Capcom, who's had a rough go of it, right? They produced Dragon's Dogma, which, by the way, is an awesome game that has tremendous flaws. And they take the best parts of Dragon's Dogma and they incorporate it into the new Devil May Cry game. That's a great concept. Now they take the best of an experimental franchise, they put it into an established game, and it becomes something much, much better as a result. That's how you build good games. And I think Capcom's learning from their mistakes. I just don't necessarily see Square Enix making a good play of it from this point forward.
Yeah, and you know what? That seems to play into a larger discussion of the problems with Japanese game developers in general that we had a really good discussion on a few months ago.
No, absolutely. So we've had a request to take a look at the new marathon dates, because we are, in fact, doing another charity marathon this year. This will be the, fourth annual?
That is true. The fourth annual Clan of the Grey Wolf charity marathon.
How are we not dead by now? I mean, the first one nearly killed me.
They become easier as each year goes on.
You think?
We really tried to kill ourselves that first year, I think.
We really did. I don't know how we survived that. I actually almost died. Thank you, Bojangles, for your wonderful biscuits, by the way. Yeah, so we are going to be doing a marathon this year, and there will be a lot more detail upcoming. Yep. We're still in some of the planning phases, but guys, I want you to start prepping now. Start talking to everybody you know. Start letting them know that this is going to be out there. Mm-hmm. We are going to put a very large goal out there for ourselves. It's going to be a stretch goal for us.
Yeah.
And we're doing that because we think we can get it.
Yep.
And we're going to help a lot of people with our charity drive this year, guys. And we're going to have your help, by the way. We need every single one of you to help us out. Yep. Tell your family, tell your friends, tell your family's friends, tell your friends' family. See what I did there?
Hide your wife, hide your kids, what?
And things. Tell all those people and let them know. We're going to be here. We're gonna burn another couple days playing some games. It's going to be fun. Super Nintendo is our platform of choice this year.
Yep.
And it's going to be awesome. And we're going to play a lot of games. You guys are going to be able to define a lot of what we do, as always. And we're going to try to raise what would have otherwise been an impossibly large amount of money to us even 2 or 3 years ago. So we need your help.
Yep. Carrara2 says, donate to a cause that is truly underfunded, not the disaster of the week. So last year we did the American Cancer Society, and it's not officially set in stone yet, but we're almost certainly going with another cancer charity that is not as well funded, which
but still maintains a tremendous rating, and one thing that we both believe in incredibly. So I think you guys are going to be in for a treat with the marathon this year. and we can't wait to bring it to you. So stay tuned for that. We're going to be making some good announcements on that on the site moving forward.
Yep.
Yeah.
The dates are December 14th through 16th. You can at least plan that out.
Yep, there you go. So dates, official, locked and loaded. Get ready to do absolutely nothing but turn on Clan of the Grey Wolf for those entire 2-3 days.
Yep. You'll have a chance to challenge us. You'll have a chance to have us play games. Of course, all for donations, which all go to charity.
And see how awfully bad the Commodore plays the Super Nintendo.
Yes, and maybe even get Commodore to play Earthbound for the very first time.
You mean from top to bottom? There's no freaking way.
No, just play it. Maybe.
No, I played it before.
No, you haven't.
I played that game before.
No, you
what about that do you not understand?
No, you haven't. You like looked at it and you were like, this is queer.
I didn't look at it. I played at least 30 minutes to an hour of that game.
All right, we'll discuss this.
All right, anyway. All right, cool. So that is the Echo Screen Live for this edition. Thank you all for being a part of our wonderful community. It was great to talk to you all. Thank you for the questions. If you didn't get your question answered, save it up, because we're back. Because when do we go on the air, Rue? Let everybody know.
That's a good question. We will be back November 21st. Or are we? Hold on. That's the day before Thanksgiving. Are we really doing that? I can.
Yeah.
All right. If you're available, I'm available. And if I'm available, everyone else better be available. So,
that's right. You better get your asses out here, because we're gonna be pulling up a whole heaping pile of mashed potatoes and gravy.
Maybe we'll have something Thanksgiving related. And yes, which night? December 14th through 16th. That is the charity marathon. November 21st will be the next Echo Screen Live. That is in 2 weeks.
Yes, but I mean, generally we meet together on the first
and third
Wednesday of every month.
That is correct.
So look for us there. So if you can't be here after or right before Thanksgiving, then at least look for us on the first and third Wednesday of every month. Thank you all for being with us. Hope you had fun here on the Echo Screen, the official podcast of the Clan of the Grey Wolf. As always, I'm your host, the Commodore, and you, as always, are the co-host,
Rue. I'm sorry.
I want to pull Chris Berman and just be like, anyway.
And ding.
Yeah, ding, ding. And you have been watching the Echo Screen Live, the official podcast of the Clan of the Grey Wolf. And there is no reset button.
Good night, Canada.
Hello, Jorge. What? Oh, you're so scary. Oh, what am I gonna do? I think I'm gonna eat foods. You look hungry. I'm hungry too. And then I'm gonna go sleep. Good night.